Hello, you. Yes, you. Talking to you. We have the basement tapes number 186. Live, well, not live, recorded in the basement here with my cards amongst me. And they do not judge me. Therefore, I do not judge them. Sure, some are in slabs. I get it. But it isn't meant to be anything other than protecting them from outside influences. 1969 Topps Baseball and Basement Tapes 186. What do we have to say about this? Well, I have them all. I've got 672 of them. Of course, there are some variations, but I do have a complete set of these cards. This is one of those sets, tops wise. Not like 62, where it's unattractive to me, but this is kind of as middle of the road boring as you can probably get up until 1979, obviously. But rather pedestrian set. The design doesn't do much for me. There's a lot going on, though. We have Mickey Mantle's last card. I think Don Drysdale's last card. Perhaps there's some others in there. But we also have the only year of the Pilots. We have the first year of the Royals and the Padres and the Expos. There are airbrushings happening. There are hats being removed. We're still suffering from the holdout from the players with tops not posing for pictures. So we have repeats of 69 cards. But there's a lot that tops offered in 69. And this is the last of the 60s sets for them. And let's get to it. Again, I think I told you I have all of them are complete regular set. I do not have the master set. 696 cards, according to the master set, $16.42 average value, $11,427.50. That rounds up to $11,428. Master set between 3 and 8K, a complete set of 664 between $2 and $5,000. The cards in the 664 card set measure 2.5 by 3.5. The 1969 top set includes Sporting News All-Star selections as cards numbered 416 to 435. Other popular subsets within this set include League Leaders 1 through 12 and World Series cards 162 through 169. The fifth series contains several variations. The more difficult variety consists of cards with the player's first name, last name, and or position in white letters instead of lettering in some other color. These are designated in the checklist below by WL for white letters. Each checklist card features a different popular player's picture inside a circle on the front of the checklist card. Two different team identifications of Clay Dalrymple and Don Clendenin exist, as indicated in the checklist. The key rookie cards in this set are Raleigh Fingers, the greatest player of the 70s, Reggie Jackson, and Greg Nettles. This was the last year that Topps issued multiplayer special star cards, ending a 13-year tradition, which they had begun in 1957. There were cropping differences in checklist cards 57, 214, and 412 due to their each being printed with two different series. The differences are difficult to explain and have not been greatly sought by collectors. Hence, they are not listed explicitly in the list below. The All-Star cards 426 through 435, when turned over and placed together, form a puzzle back of Pete Rose. This would turn out to be the final year that Topps issued cards in 5-card nickel wax packs. Cards are also issued in 36-card rack packs, which were sold for 29 cents. So this is it with the multiplayer cards for a while, I guess, until the 80s. We have, I lied about that. Of course, we would have multiplayer cards when the Brothers cards came out in 1977. So look at me. Color me a liar. And Mike Epstein and Ted Williams, obviously a very famous one. Let's look at the top 3 valued cards here, according to Beckett. I bet you a pair of them are Mickey Charles Mantles. Let's see here. Yaz, by the way, is in card number 1 as one of your AL batting leaders. Let's see here. My dog is mooing to go outside, but I'm not going to cave in. White letter Reggie. I'm sorry, white letter Mantle. Reggie number 2, tied with Mickey number 2, and tied with Nolan Ryan at number 2. And then we have a pair of cards, Hank Aaron and Willie Mays, that are tied for what would be considered in a golf tournament, 5th place there. third highest value. Roberto Clemente, great card. Bench, great card. Seaver, great card. They're all, well, every card behind me is a great card, if you're going to ask me. 1969, top 664 cards, according to TCDB. Teams depicted here. This is it. This is the roll call. Braves, Orioles, Red Sox, Angels, Cubs, White Sox, Reds, Indians, Tigers, Astros, Royals, Dodgers, Twins, Expos, Mets, Yankees, Athletics, Phillies, Pirates, Padres, Giants, Pilots, Cardinals, and the Senators. Errors and variations, there's 67 of them. Go to TCDB, take a look. They pretty much screwed up everywhere they possibly could. Mostly are the yellow and white names, but Dalrymple and Clendenin playing with a couple different teams there. Ron Paranowski suffering from a little airbrush, light airbrush, as is Paul Popovich. Hall of Famers in here, tons of them, 81. The leader cards take up, 6 of those. But then we have the other cards just streaming in, including checklists and World Series cards. World Series cards, by the way, action photographs. We don't see that much. This might be the first time or the second time, I should say, we see action photographs, even though they're black and white. We see them in 68. And we see them again here in 69 from the World Series. Rookies, 98 of them, folks. Again, with variations, all that stuff. But all we care about is Reginald Martinez Jacksons. There was decals and decal edges this year. We'll get into the decals later. We've already done the decals. Fun inserts, both comments. A lot to say here, folks. The first pack of cards I ever remember buying was from this set. I was 8 years old that summer. When I started collecting cards again in 1978, this was the first set I completed. Not my favorite set, but it will always be special. Had a chance at a show in KC, 1982, to buy as many Mickey Mantle cards as I wanted from a dealer for $15 a piece. I told him I had a complete set and didn't need any extra mantles. KC Jays says that. K-Line 6 says, this was the first set I collected, 10 years old. Rode bike down the small store to buy packs. Bought first wax box then also. Got busted by my mom for always having gum in my mouth. Gum from those packs. Especially notable because I am a Detroit fan, and Tigers just took series the year before. Great round up there, K-Line 6. Round of Diamonds back. The first 60 cards I ever owned was a 1969 Topps Bob Allison back in the late 80s, early 90s. I put that card in a glass case for many years until I discovered card shows where low-grade commons could be found for about 35 cents in the early aughts. I continued to chip away at this set until today, when I could say that I'm only one Mickey Mantle card away from completing the entire base and insert set. Unbelievable, he says. Cluis 0761 tells us the first pack of cards I ever opened was a 1969 Topps base set around April of 1969 or May of 1969 on my birthday from a place named Sankey's Hardware on the square in the township of Hudsonville, Illinois. I was hooked. If I could get my grandparents on my father's side to take me to Robinson, Illinois, they would go to an old store on the west side of Robinson that had cards. I remember pulling 1971 Frank and Brooks Robinsons. I was 8 years old at that time. I remember asking my mom whether they were brothers since they played on the same team. My brother, a year younger, and I played on the same team. Made sense to me. Innocent me learned that they were not brothers, but that was it. I was too heavy into until I was 14. I picked up a few in my early 20s, but little. In the 1996-97 years, my 5-year-old son was a Pokemon nut and got me started. Then in 2006 on vacation in Cedar Point, Ohio, I learned how to search eBay using my cell phone and started buying. The next year, we came back for 2 weeks in a suite on the beach with the water park and the roller coaster park right out the back door. I went to town and bought tons of retail boxes. My then wife told me I'd never keep it in order, so I bought several collector's albums with Ultra Pro pages. I have never stopped since. Of course, he is not with that same woman, I believe. B. Kim tells us, I stated collecting cards in 1965. This was the first year I had the whole set. I would buy a box of cards, 24 packs wholesale for 85 cents. In October, I saw an ad in the Sporting News where I could buy the 7th series cards, took paper route money, and ordered them from, I think, Kit Young. Armand Rosamilla says, 1969 is the year I was born, so I'm slowly building a complete set, one card at a time. So I'm sure I get really nice cards. I also collect all the variants as well. Parsley 24 says, Indie Bean 17 has got the trading bug back into me after a real hiatus for 20 plus years. This is the Heritage 2017 set. This and the Heritage 2017 set are my first tackles to get back in he game. Vergeer says, anyone actively cognizant of the fact that the Senators have 2 manager cards? I wasn't. This amuses me. V3. David Marty says, I was 6, and this was the first year I was truly interested in baseball. My father used to bring me home a pack a day. Yep, I had a pack a day habit. By the end of the season, I had a complete set. My mom is holding on to it until she passes. I'm currently working on a second set for my oldest son. It's to go along with the 1996 set we put together the same way. Boy, people really overshare on the TCDB comment section. McCabe Terry Mack says, I was an 8-year-old who loved baseball cards. This was the set that started it all for me. My team was the Reds: Pete Rose, Tommy Helms, Lee May, Bobby Tolan, Tony Perez, and Johnny Bench. When that's the first major league team you've ever loved, wow. Then over the next 10 years, you grow up watching the Big Red Machine, and you're spoiled forever. Thank you, Terry Mack. Brad Robbins tells us, new to the site, look forward to seeing what it can do for my collection. I was 6 years old. I remember being given cards by someone in the family. Still have some of them. At that age, I ruined some by making art projects with them. If only the older me could have stopped the younger me. Passe Gaming says, another perfect example of a classy, simple design that Topps is known for. Reminds me of their 74, 88, and 89 sets, keeping it simple but drawing the eye. I really dig this set. I wish I had more cards from this era. Well, maybe I need to revisit that. I'm looking at Reggie, and the Reggie card looks phenomenal. So perhaps you're correct. Packaging. I have one of these wax boxes behind me. It has Carl Yastrzemski, Denny McClain, Bob Gibson, and I believe Willie Mays on it. Beautiful, groovy box from the era. It's right up there. It looks nice. There is a wax box there. There is another, I guess, a cello pack or a cello box or a rack box there too. 10 cents a pop. I guess that's a regular. There's a nickel pack, so the cellos might have been 10 cents. The wrapper is stunning. It's a nice blue wrapper, baseball picture cards, 5 cents with 1 stick of bubble gum. Magnets, free magic magnet set, all that stuff to get you hooked. And then there's the 10 pack. There's the 10 card wax packs for 10 cents. So they weren't cellos, they were 10 card packs. And then the rack packs, we have a nice one with Johnny Bench and Steve Blass and your 1968 home run leaders featuring McCovey, Allen, and Banks. Beautiful, beautiful cards. There is a cello pack featuring Maury Wills on the Expos in a Pirates uniform, and a couple more rack packs there. Let's see here. Sell sheets and ads. Topps 1969 baseball. All new for another season of sensational sales. America's favorite sport, baseball, on Topps picture cards. This year, the biggest news is the 4 new Major League teams: the American League's Kansas City Royals and Seattle Pilots, the National League's Montreal Expos, and San Diego Padres. The first Topps baseball cards covering these new teams are sure to be collector's items, and so will the cards honoring current superstars like Denny McClain, Bob Gibson, and Carl Yastrzemski. Make sure the kids think of your store as official Topps baseball headquarters. For every new series throughout the season, order your current series today. All the Major League action, including 4 new teams. There's a nice rack pack, 48 cards for 29 cents. Rack pack case there. Topps number 981. And there's some notes on here. Fun notes, 39 cents written in hand by a salesperson or perhaps a vendor. 25 cents for the other packs, although they clearly say 48 10-cent packs per display box, 3 boxes per case. Topps number 901. 10-cent Topps baseball trading card packs, 12 full color Major League Baseball cards in every cello wrapped 10-cent package. 48 or 4 dozen 10-cent package, 3 display boxes. It's $6.84 per case for one of these 8 pounds of baseball cards. The rack packs will cost you $660 for 1.89 cubic feet of cards. So lots of fun stuff. There is an ad from a third party here. Baseball cards, Topps Complete, $13.95 for the 1969 set. Boog Powell's pictured. It says get your full color picture cards of almost every Major League Baseball player. Special. Order a complete set now, and you will receive a free set of 33 full color Hall of Fame cards. Ruth, DiMaggio, etc. Send only $13.95 plus 95 cents for postage for the complete 7 series, totaling about 600 cards, or send down payment of $2.90 and 5 $2.40 payments later. Each series, $2.25. Special album to hold. Complete 1969 set with Topps 1969 baseball in gold on hardcover is $3.75. Send 35 cents for a hobby catalog number 5, big 8.5 by 11 inches, 36 pages with pictures of every sport and non-sport cards issued from 1910 to 1968. Wholesale Cards Company Department, MA69, Box 496, Georgetown, Connecticut, 06829. Okay, and then we get to some trivia, perhaps. First set to include KC Royals and Montreal Expo cards. First set to include, first of 2 sets to include Seattle Pilots cards, even though only year of teams existed. Last player card for Mickey Mantle included in the set. First year Padres cards, wax packs, 5 cents, 5 cards. 10-cent wax packs containing 10 cards were also made available for the first time. Rack packs contained 10 card packs for 29 cents. 3 10-card packs for 29 cents. Because players had been instructed by their association officials to not pose for Topps photographers in 1968, there are dozens of photos that are either repeats of previous years or that were taken several years earlier. Card number 463, Dennis Rabant, is in a Royal uniform, even though he never made it to the opening day as Royal. Time as Royal, 12/15/68 to 3/29/69. Features the rookie cards of Hall of Famers Reggie Jackson, Raleigh Fingers, Bobby Cox, and Earl Weaver. 664 card set was the largest card set in the history of sport at the time. Featured Nolan Ryan's first single player card for Topps, and no team card subset for the first time in a decade. So I remember buying this Raleigh Fingers in Eugene, Oregon when I was working on that set. As I said, it's completed now. So man, there's a lot to take in there. There is the set. There are the leader cards. This is a set that I don't need to speak much about. I kind of know it as the pink back card, regardless of what's going on in the front of the cards. But it is nice to see and hear that call out of the shenanigans going on between the Players Association and Topps. That would change the cash flow into the coffers of the Players Association forever. And it's amazing how stubborn they got later on when they finally open up to the other manufacturers and watch their revenue just skyrocket exponentially, more so exponentially, 10, 15x, whatever. They ended up raking the money in by making the cards. So anyway, that's the 1969, the final year of the 60s Topps run here. Mr. Irrelevant here is card 664, Ron Hunt, with your San Francisco Giants. And Dick Raditz just got in under the wire there and card 663. So anyway, 1969 Topps Baseball Basement Tapes number 186. Maybe, just maybe, after talking about this, the set is starting to